So these are the 5 steps to permanent, lasting happiness. The first one is, the lowest is practicing contentment. The second one is keeping moral conduct so that you don't give happiness to others, so that happiness does not come looking for you. The third step is to give happiness to others in whatever way you can, so that happiness comes looking for you. The fourth step is to get a hold of our mind, train ourselves to control our mind so that the mind does not give you so much suffering, so that you suppress the 5 hindrances. The fifth step is to practice the Buddha's path to eternal happiness, namely the Noble Eightfold Path, and you will achieve permanent happiness. So these are the 5 steps. Are you all practicing these 5 steps? A lot of people, they are practicing the worldly way, looking for money. But money is not inside these 5 steps. That's why you find a lot of rich men are not happy. You all look in the papers, what do you see? Every now and then you see this, what's her name? What Hilton? Paris Hilton. Poor little rich girl. Yeah? So much money, but she's not happy. Millionaire or billionaire, but not happy. In one of the discourses of the Buddha, being an ascetic, he used to sleep in the forest. And then when you sleep in the forest under the trees, during the winter nights, it gets very cold. Yeah. So one layman came up to him and then looked at the Buddha. He asked the Buddha, "Are you happy?" The Buddha said, in this world, if you think there is any happy man, you can say, "I'm the happiest. I'm the happy man in this world." Then he was scratching his head. How come this ascetic got not a cent to his name, sleeping under the tree, begging for his food, he's happy? So he thought, somebody like the king of the country must be a really happy person. He got a palace to stay, so many wives and slaves to look after him, having everything he wants. He thought the king must be the happiest man in the world. But Buddha asked him, can the king, without doing anything, abide in unbounded happiness, unbounded bliss for one day and one night? He said, cannot. Why? Because because of greed, hatred and delusion, we have angry feelings, we have lustful feelings, all these disturbing us, anger, greed, all this gives us suffering. So the Buddha asked, can the king abide in unbounded bliss and happiness for 2 days, 2 nights, up to 7 days, 7 nights? He said, no. But the Buddha says, I can abide in unbounded bliss without doing anything. I can abide in bliss and happiness for 7 days and 7 nights without stopping. And what is this bliss? This bliss that is unbounded, that is the state of Nibbana. The Buddha can attain the state of Nibbana in this very lifetime. And what is that state? It's called Nirodha Samapatti, where his 6 consciousness can stop, and he's in bliss for 7 days and 7 nights. But you see, even though the 6 consciousness stops, there must still be another type of consciousness, right? Because without the other type of consciousness, how can the body be alive? Yeah. So you see, the Buddha can, because of that, he's the happiest person in the world. Now, who is walking the path? These 5 steps, I'm asking you, who is practicing these 5 steps to permanent happiness? Who in this world? The monks lah. Monks and nuns lah. A lot of people, when you ask them to become a monk, suffering. Outside you see suffering, but inside here happiness lah. You exchange the worldly happiness for the happiness within. That happiness within is a deeper happiness, lasting happiness. Just now I was saying that in this world, life is a gamble, they say. Like I say, choosing a partner is a gamble. You don't know whether you're going to be happy. So, when you ask people to renounce to become a monk, they dare not take the plunge. They want happiness here and now. Because you become a monk, you don't know whether you're going to be happy or not. But they want happiness here and now, so they refuse to take the plunge. But a monk like me, I'm willing to give up everything, my life as a layman, what people think is a happy life, and become a monk. So, you see, a monk like me is a big gambler, you know. They say, lay people when you buy ampa eco, you buy $1, $2, $10, that's puak se. But if you know your number is coming out, you put a few hundred ringgit, isn't it? No money, so you go and borrow, isn't it? Put as much as you can, puak tua. So a monk is like that. You give up our whole life in exchange to get eternal happiness. So monks are big time gamblers. So this is a way to happiness. So I'm inviting you all to become monks and nuns. We still have a lot of vacancy in Tamil. Just now I said, lay people, you want happiness immediately. That is a normal person's life. So in Hokkien we say, Tao Ti Boi Ko. But a monk's life is Tao Ko Boi Ti. The first year I became a monk was a lot of suffering. So much suffering that the first year, at one time I broke down and cried. But then, as the Buddha says, when he's practiced the spiritual path, even though it's a lot of suffering, you know that it is worth it. So the Buddha says, you should grit your teeth and bear it. So I bore it. After 1 year, less and less suffering. Now after 24 years, I can see some happiness. Today is Saturday night, you know. A lot of people have gone to karaoke, the bar and all that. You're all coming here to listen to the Dhamma talk. They have a lot of wisdom. So you're also walking the way to happiness.